Level 1. Survival. We begin at the first level, where a country exists in a constant state of emergency. This is the level where daily life is not about growth or ambition, but about getting through the next 24 hours. Haiti sits on the western half of the island of Hispaniola, surrounded by blue water and sunlight. On the surface, it looks like a place that should thrive, but beneath that image is a nation that has been pushed to the edge again and again. Haiti was the first black republic in the world, born from a successful slave revolt in 1804. It paid for that victory for centuries. Former colonial powers demanded compensation for lost property, draining the country's wealth before it ever had a chance to build itself. In the modern era, the state struggles to function at the most basic level. Governments rise and fall rapidly. Presidents are assassinated. Elections are delayed or never fully completed. Large parts of the capital are controlled not by police or the military, but by armed gangs. In some neighborhoods, residents learn which streets are safe by listening for gunfire at night. For ordinary people, life is fragile. Power cuts are common. Clean water is not guaranteed. Hospitals lack equipment. After the 2010 earthquake, which killed over 200,000 people in seconds, the country never fully recovered. Just as rebuilding began, hurricanes, political chaos, and economic collapse followed. Each crisis arrived before the last one had ended. International aid comes and goes, often promised loudly and delivered slowly. When it leaves, little remains. Jobs are scarce. Inflation eats away at savings that barely exist. For many families, survival means sending children away, relying on remittances, or simply hoping tomorrow is quieter than today. At this level, a country is not weak because its people are weak. Haitians are resilient, resourceful, and deeply proud of their history. But resilience has limits. When institutions fail long enough, survival becomes the system. The state remains alive, but only just. Level 2. Potential. At the second level, a country is no longer fighting to exist, but it is constantly fighting itself. This is where the future feels close enough to touch, yet somehow never fully arrives. Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation, home to more than 200 million people. Its cities are loud, fast, and overflowing with energy. Lagos alone is one of the largest urban areas on Earth, a place where ambition moves faster than infrastructure can keep up. Music, film, fashion, and technology spill out of the country and into the world. Nigerian artists dominate global charts. Startups rise almost overnight. From the outside, it looks like a nation on the brink of something big. Beneath that momentum lies a familiar pattern. Nigeria is rich in oil, gas, and natural resources, yet much of that wealth never reaches the people. Corruption has hollowed out institutions over decades, turning opportunity into inequality. Power outages are routine, even in major cities. Roads crumble under traffic that never stops. Basic services exist, but they are unreliable, forcing citizens to create their own solutions. Security is uneven. In the north, extremist groups have displaced millions. In the south, criminal networks thrive in the shadows of weak enforcement. The state is present, but not everywhere, and not always when it is needed most. For many Nigerians, safety depends less on law and more on community, family, and personal connections. Still, this is not a country standing still. Nigeria grows despite its problems, not because they are solved, but because the population refuses to wait. People adapt, they hustle, they build parallel systems where official ones fail. Talent is abundant, and the hunger to rise is everywhere. At this level, the tragedy is not collapse, but delay. The sense that with better leadership, stronger institutions, and fewer leaks in the system, everything could change quickly. The gap between what is possible and what is real defines daily life. Level 3. Stability. At the third level, a country is no longer defined by chaos or constant crisis. Life works. Institutions function. The future is predictable enough to plan for. But power? Real power still lies elsewhere. Poland sits at the center of Europe, shaped by geography and history more than by choice. For centuries, it was invaded, partitioned, erased, and rebuilt. That legacy left deep scars, but it also created a strong instinct for survival and self-organization. When communism collapsed in 1989, the country moved quickly to redefine itself, trading control for growth. Over the last 3 decades, Poland transformed. Cities modernized, infrastructure expanded, living standards rose steadily. For millions of people, life became normal in a way previous generations never experienced. Jobs exist, education is accessible, crime is relatively low. Compared to much of the world, daily life feels safe and structured. Yet Poland's position comes with limits. Its economy is solid but tightly connected to larger systems. Growth depends on trade, foreign investment, and stability beyond its borders. Security is guaranteed not by dominance, but by alliances. Decisions made in Washington, Brussels, or Berlin often matter as much as those made in Warsaw. Politically, the country is active but constrained. It can influence regional debates, but it cannot set global agendas. Militarily, it is capable but not decisive on its own. Culturally, it is confident internally, yet exports little soft power compared to larger players. At this level, the challenge is not building a functioning state, but deciding what kind of one to be. Stability brings comfort, but also dependence. Progress feels real yet fragile, shaped by forces outside national control. Level 4. Comfort. At the fourth level, a country has solved most of the problems that once defined it. Life is no longer about catching up or proving stability. The focus shifts to quality, balance, and preservation. Spain stretches across the Iberian Peninsula, shaped by centuries of empire, trade, and cultural exchange. Once a global power that ruled territories across the world, it gradually stepped back from the center of history. What remains is a country that knows both dominance and decline, and has chosen not to chase either. For most people, daily life in Spain is comfortable. Healthcare is accessible. Public spaces are well maintained. Food is affordable and central to social life. Cities move at a slower rhythm where work exists but does not consume everything. Compared to much of the world, the system feels humane. The state functions reliably. Institutions are stable. Crises happen, but they are managed, not existential. Economic growth is steady rather than explosive. Tourism plays a major role, bringing wealth while also creating dependency. The country is connected to global markets but not defined by them. Politically and militarily, Spain rarely leads. It participates, supports, and aligns, but seldom initiates. Its influence is real within alliances, yet limited on its own. There is no urgency to expand power, no pressure to dominate. The ambition that once fueled an empire has softened into maintenance. At this level, the trade-off becomes clear. Comfort comes with caution. Stability discourages risk. The system works well enough that radical change feels unnecessary and sometimes undesirable. Level 5. Precision. At the fifth level, a country no longer measures power only through territory or force. Influence is exercised through systems, technology, and long-term control of value. Japan is an island nation shaped by isolation and discipline. For centuries, it developed inward, refining its culture, hierarchy, and sense of order. When it opened to the world, it moved with speed and intent. By the late 20th century, Japan had become an economic superpower, rebuilding itself from near-total destruction after World War II into one of the most advanced societies on Earth. Daily life is defined by efficiency. Infrastructure runs with near-perfect timing. Cities are dense yet orderly. Education emphasizes precision and responsibility. Crime is low. Trust in systems is high. The country does not rely on chaos or rapid change, but on consistency and incremental improvement. Japan's influence extends far beyond its borders. Its technology, manufacturing standards, and design philosophy shape global industries. From automobiles to electronics, Japanese methods became the blueprint for quality. Culturally, its reach is quiet but deep, embedded in animation, games, fashion, and food, consumed worldwide. Militarily, Japan is restrained by history and law. Its constitution limits direct projection of force. Security depends on alliances rather than dominance. This is not a nation built to intimidate, but to outlast. Power is exercised carefully, rarely loudly. At this level, strength comes from control rather than expansion. The country does not rush to lead every conversation. It positions itself so that others rely on its expertise, its standards, and its reliability. Level 6. Scale. At the sixth level, a country no longer adapts to the world. The world begins to adapt to it. Power is measured in reach, leverage, and the ability to shape outcomes far beyond its borders. China is a civilization state, not just a nation. Its history stretches back thousands of years, marked by cycles of unity, collapse, and return. That long memory shapes how it moves today. While others think in election cycles, China plans in decades. Stability is valued above speed, control above spontaneity. Over the last 40 years, China transformed at a pace rarely seen in human history. Hundreds of millions were lifted out of poverty. Megacities rose almost overnight. Manufacturing became dominance. Supply chains across the world quietly rewired themselves around Chinese production, making separation costly and dependence normal. The state plays a central role in everything. Major industries, finance, and technology operate in alignment with national goals. Surveillance, data, and regulation are used not just to maintain order, but to optimize control. Dissent is managed. Information is filtered. The system is designed to prevent instability before it begins. China's influence travels without armies. Through trade, infrastructure projects, and debt, it binds other countries into long-term relationships. Ports, railways, and networks funded by Chinese capital extend its presence across Asia, Africa, and Europe. The leverage is subtle but difficult to escape. At this level, power does not need to announce itself. It is embedded in contracts, supply chains, and dependencies. The country does not seek to be liked. It seeks to be necessary. Level 7. Dominance. At the seventh level, a country no longer adjusts to the world adjusts to it. Influence is total, immediate, and felt everywhere, from markets to media, from policy to culture. Here, decisions ripple across the planet in seconds. The United States stretches across a continent rich in resources, buffered by oceans, and powered by innovation and ambition. Its rise to dominance was forged through a combination of geography, industrialization, and global conflict. By the mid-20th century, it became a superpower whose reach extended into every corner of the globe. Daily life for Americans is defined by abundance and choice. Infrastructure, education, and technology are advanced, though unevenly distributed. Cities pulse with innovation, culture, and commerce. The country produces and consumes ideas, media, and products that define global trends. Its people, institutions, and corporations all operate within networks that span continents. Militarily, economically, and culturally, the U.S. can act decisively anywhere. The dollar is the world's primary currency. Hollywood, Silicon Valley, and Wall Street shape thought and desire far beyond borders. Diplomacy, intelligence, and soft power are as potent as tanks or aircraft carriers. Decisions made in Washington, New York, or Los Angeles are felt from Tokyo to Lagos to Berlin. At this level, weakness is almost unthinkable, yet even the hegemon faces its limits. Internal conflict, economic shifts, and political division are carefully watched because the country's choices affect billions. Every move is amplified. Every policy reverberates. Thank you for watching. Subscribe our channel and check out our other videos.